What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Wizards of Amazon podcast, where we cover all things private label. My name is Carlos Alvarez, and I'm your host of this show. Today, I am extremely excited to have my best friend and an amazing seller, Ramon Gonzalez, on the show. Welcome to the show, bro.
Thanks, man. Thanks a lot.
Definitely. So I was just teasing you before the show about this being the first podcast you're on, and I think you're going to be a natural. I think everybody listening to this is going to really enjoy it. And you mentioned that we might hear one or two of your private labels in the background while we're doing this. So
yeah. One of them is over there making some noise, but hopefully it's gonna let us do this little thing.
That'll be awesome. Ramon, I have no doubt that you're going to be on this show a lot, or as much as I can take advantage of your time to be on here.
That's the actual way to put it. Yeah, as much as you can take advantage of me. Yes.
Yes, as much as you and Yamaris will let me take advantage of it. But since this is your first time on this show, can you give me or the listeners since I already know, a rundown on, who is Ramon? What's your prior experience prior to selling on Amazon? What's your Amazon experience, and just how you got on the show?
Hi guys. Well, basically, I used to work with my father on a company where we were the reps for a distillation equipment for alcohol. So we would go all over the United States selling distillation equipment, and we actually repped the sale of the plant for Captain Morgan rum. So the plant that's built out in yeah, exactly. So we used to go to these big companies and sell them equipment, and it was fantastic. I mean, as a rep, you make a lot of money. The problem is that is a market where if you get a sale today, you party like a madman, but then you don't get another sale for a year, maybe 2 years. So it's a very up and down kind of business, and you really had to worry about saving money and making sure that you were doing things right. So I was tired of it. I was looking for a way out, and I'm like, I need to find something that's a little more stable than this. And that's this guy called Charlie or something. I don't remember his name. Charlie Carlos, something like that. And he tells me, hey, well, why don't you start selling on Amazon? I'm like, what the hell? What do you mean? You can sell in Amazon? Isn't that Amazon selling Amazon? Like everybody else, I know that nobody knows anything about Amazon. And then he passed me this book, and I'm like, okay. So I started consuming this book, and I'm like, oh, this works. So immediately, I started a business. I decided that I had enough of the distillation equipment stuff. I started a business, and I just started selling retail arbitrage like everybody else, right? You don't start. Most people, at least, that don't have corporate business experience. They don't. You don't have $50,000 to throw at inventory. You start slow. You start with retail arbitrage, and that's what I did. Going to the stores nearby, going to the Costco's and the IKEAs and the this and the that, and I was able to build out enough inventory where I got to the point where I was like, I'm done doing the drive thing. I didn't like the drive thing, to go from one place to the other to maybe not find anything. So the next logical step for me was just go wholesale. And I went wholesale, and that's when the business really exploded. The opportunity with wholesale is huge. It doesn't stop being huge. And I've gotten to the point where I do, I do pretty well enough for myself. And I keep growing every year, like year to year. This year on, we're like about down a little bit now, like about 90% year to year growth. I mean, where can you say, in what business model other than Amazon can you say, oh yeah, our year to year growth is 90%, 100%? You don't see that.
And then it's down.
And that's down. Yeah, you see 12%, fantastic growth, 7%. No, we're year to year up 90%. So we're doing okay. And we're currently looking at transitioning, or not transitioning so much, but definitely adding private label as well to the mix. So that's my story.
Yeah, definitely something I could add into that is my private label journey actually began the same way that you're describing yours right now, in the sense of I was doing garage sales, arbitrage, wholesale, all of that, until I know I jokingly refer to use this word in the meetup groups with you as evolve. Like, yeah, I evolved all the way to private label. Which your evolution is nearly complete.
You got jokes, that's for sure.
All right, so a little bit. Well, first thing I want to ask: do you get deals on Captain Morgan?
I wish, right?
I had to ask that before moving on. But okay, so you're thinking about getting into private label, and this conversation, actually, I want to touch on something else that you said in the meetup. You said this at the 3-year celebration Saturday, and I've gotten so many messages from people in the group regarding the wholesale side of it, and how you're talking about year over year 90% growth. Is you made a statement that the problem is not finding suppliers, the problem is capital. So like
I have my current problem right now, and it's not a common problem that I have, but it just happens that at this current time is my problem, is that I don't have enough cash. I have way too many suppliers, way too much opportunity, and not enough cash. I've managed to set my business up in a way where I have a business partner that helps me with calls to close accounts, but on top of that, I have this structure of VAs that help me analyze a lot of data. And I particularly have 2 VAs that are going to that all they do is just find me leads of companies that have potential for me to sell in Amazon. And then we close them on the phone or by email if possible, and we start buying. But the list that I have right now is so big that I have to go, whoa, stop. I got to slow down, because there's only so much you can buy, and then at some point you have to pay the credit card. So you got to slow down, and you have to measure your growth, because if I had unlimited money, my year to year would probably be 250, 300. It just you need to measure yourself, and I'm trying that right now. It's not fun,
yeah,
but it's a good exercise.
Okay, so getting back to the PL that you're mentioning that you're bringing on, or you've already begun, this is, to be clear, this is something, do you see this as being something that becomes your entire focus into where you let go of wholesale? So will it be a full transition? Is it going to be complementary? How do you see it right now?
I think as of now, my vision for private label is to explode it as much as possible for 2020. Like, be able to just go balls out. Now, mind you, wholesale pays the bills, right? You know, you got to be able to pay the bills. You got to be able to continue. So I don't think I'm going to find myself completely replacing wholesale. Definitely not in 2020. But slowing down the growth in wholesale and just diverting the profits into private labels to be able to grow that side of it a lot more. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so somebody hearing this that doesn't know you or the backstory like I do, you have a super successful wholesale business. You've pretty much described it as processized. You have a lot of chemistry with your business partner. It sounds like if it's not broke, don't fix it. Why add PL? Why are you thinking PL?
Well, to be honest with you, profit margin's better, right? The margins are better there. The amount of work necessary to do is better. The difference, one of the biggest difference between wholesale and private label is that I'm currently managing about 10,000 SKUs. You can't manage 10,000 SKUs without a lot of processes, right? You forget about the little details and you just processize everything, and you bunch up things into little buckets and you try to solve them that way. Sometimes it works, or rather the majority of the time it works, but I can't give the attention that you give to your SKUs because it's way too many. And I can't add 50 new employees tomorrow to try and do that. So I'm thinking, or I'm sure you've told me many times, that it's a lot easier to manage 10 SKUs, 15, 20, 30, as opposed to 10,000. So that in and of itself is one of the biggest reasons, like managing growth by process. It's a lot harder than just being super detailed on the tiny little things on that particular product, not having to deal with, I bought a product and then Amazon jumped on the listing. That's another thing that can slow down your growth, which currently happens to me, and it happens to everybody that does wholesale, right? You have to deal with the monster in the room, which is Amazon. You don't want to sell stuff that Amazon sells. Rule number 1 of wholesale: don't sell stuff that Amazon sells. Somebody may tell you otherwise. Don't pay attention to them.
Ignore them.
Ignore them. Yes, 100%. So I flopped, I believe, was $8,000 on a SKU, and as soon as the inventory hit, Amazon came in on the list. So what do I do? I mean, I'm not going to cry about it. Just have to wait it out, right? Wait out.
That one was a lot more towards the beginning of when you started Wholesale, correct? Or is this another
No.
recent one?
It's still, yeah, still now. Like I'm deep into toys now. I was going in Wholesale deep into toys, and Amazon's all over toys everywhere. But there's plenty of opportunity. Like I was telling you, non-stop opportunity. But sometimes it happens that you look at a product and you go, this looks really good. Amazon has never sold this product. You buy it, you send it in, and then Amazon jumps in. What are you going to do, right? You're just going to have to deal with the punches. That's part of this business. Those are the things that people that try to tell you, oh, the world is fantastic and Amazon's great, don't tell you. You have to deal with the punches. That's one of those punches that you have to deal with.
And you would say your wholesale business focuses more on like a niche focus on what the types of things you sell, or are you all over the place in what you sell? And how does that really translate to you wanting to start PL?
So basically, we decided that the best and easiest way to get it transition into wholesale was to open a retail store. And we opened a retail store for kids and women, and it's fantastic. You know, you get so many people hang up on you simply because you're saying you're an Amazon seller. But if you're a retail store, then people may listen.
Great.
Sometimes they auto approve. Sometimes they listen enough to allow you to sell in Amazon as well. So that has worked really well for us. If you're looking to get into wholesale, consider the possibility of just opening a retail store. Our retail store is tiny. It's very pretty. We decorated it really well because we want to send pictures to this supplier.
We are your business partner.
Me and my sister.
Oh.
We decorated it well, so that when we send pictures to suppliers, they go like, "Oh, yeah, that's a nice store. Yeah, absolutely. We'll allow you to sell a product." And that worked. That has worked really, really well. But but we can't sell everything in that store, right? We can sell like, you know, we were doing women and children. We can't really say, oh, we sell, you know, outdoor and we sell baby stuff and we can't sell everything. So in a way, it has helped us a lot to open products, suppliers that cater to that audience.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, oftentimes, most of these suppliers, they don't even check. They just go like, oh, you have a store, okay, great. Here you go. Here's a catalog, start buying. And you know, opportunity-wise, it's fantastic. I would totally recommend it.
What about from sourcing? Are you taking any of your experience from the types of products that you sell as a wholesaler and using some of that experience towards sourcing potential new products on private label?
Well, you know, funny you should mention that. You probably mentioned that because, you know, I got to the point where I was sourcing these products and by themselves, they were not profitable or very profitable. The margin was very small. But if you put them as a bundle, then the product worked, right? They were complemented each other really well. So I put it as a bundle and I started selling it. And then at some point, I needed to restock this product. And the supplier goes, oh, we don't have any more of this one product. And it's coming in by ship and we'll have it in about a month and a half. And I'm like, my listing is going to die. Like I'm like, I need this product today. You don't have it for a month and a half. I'm going to run out of stock. It's probably going to be problematic. So the guy's like, well, sorry, you know, it is what it is. So I started thinking, why am I holding myself down to this supplier? Let me see what happens if I source this product myself in China. So I started.
To be clear, I'm sorry, to be clear to anybody that's listening, when you're not talking about getting, let's just say, an Uno deck and sourcing an Uno deck from an unauthorized factory. Right. Like, can you be clear of, like, you don't have to say the product, but what are you talking about there?
Distinction, for sure. So something generic that somebody may be searching for in Amazon, not a specific brand that somebody's searching for in Amazon. So something generic that is being searched for as a bundle, and one of the two suppliers that I was sending as a bundle just ran out of stock. And at that point, I'm like, I need to figure out how I can keep this listing going. So I went and I tried to source that product in China, and I realized that if I bought it myself in China, it was significantly cheaper than paying a distributor wholesale in the middle. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting. What if I source the other product? So I did that, and I'm like, I am bringing in like an extra $4 or $5 into my pockets if I just per sale. if I just source this product myself, and I'm like, is this so easy? Like, PL, is this easy? I have nothing to worry about. I'm just going to make $5 extra per sale. So mind you that, again, that was a particular case. Not everything's as fantastic as I'm sounding it. I just got lucky, right, with this particular bundle product. So ever since then, I started researching more and more into private label and sourcing from China. And you know, I haven't launched this bundle yet. It's coming. It should get here before the end of the year. Carlos keeps telling me not to launch during Q4.
Yep.
I'm itching to get it launched regardless. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but yeah. I mean, it has been a slow transition for me, but I think it's the right way to do it. Simply because I get to have high profits and I get to manage my business a little better. I don't have to, not having to deal with competitors, not having to deal with the threat of Amazon jumping into the listing is something that as a wholesaler looking at the PL, you know, the green is the what is it? The grass is always greener on the
other side.
Looking at the other side, those are the things that appeal to me a lot when it comes to private label.
Okay, yeah, it makes total sense. And initially, the question, the reason I asked it is prior to me being primarily focused on private label, and I was selling wholesale, my biggest winners as a wholesaler were actually coffee products and two massive, I won't say their name just in case you or anybody else is selling them, but two massive wholesalers of bar and wine tools in that niche. So I was passionate about those niches. So that's why I initially started looking for them instead of something else to sell wholesale, and then getting experience on them and having fun selling something I'm passionate about. It was a natural transition for when I got to the point of sourcing and private label to focus on those niches instead of any tools or anything like that. So, well, yeah.
For me, it was a little different. I have the store. This was during the time that Toys R Us was coming down. So Toys R Us went bankrupt, and we're thinking, why don't we bring some toys to the store, right? It makes sense. People are, they're still going to shop in Amazon, but somebody passing by, they're going to see a toy store and they're going to go, hey, let's just go in there, because the kid is screaming in the front of the door going like, hey, can we go in? Can we go in? So that was the reason why we jumped into toys. And it just so happens that the bundle that I was talking about is a toy bundle. So our first brand or our initial idea is going to be jumping to the games for adults, not even kids, games for adults. And that's a niche.
Are we talking about adult toys, or what are we talking about?
Games for adults.
You got to clarify that. I want to know what sourcing methods you're using and how you jump.
Not adult toys. Yeah,
all right.
This joke doesn't work with my wife. She's not gonna be happy about that one.
No, she's not gonna be happy at all. Okay, so let me transition now into more of the operations side of your business right now. Yeah. What, if anything, do you feel like needs to be added or changed to your current operations by bringing in private label?
It's a whole new set of skills, right? For example, currently I have AVAs. One that's my general manager, two that are doing purchase orders, two that are doing lead generation. That's 5. Two that are doing just basically fixing problems. I call it my monitor and compliance department. They just fix problems like stranded and recalling and fixing listings and stuff like that. And one that's doing social media. Well, I'm going to need sourcers. I'm going to need these lead generation people to just start jumping into product sourcing. And it's a different skill set. PPC. As a wholesaler, I do very little of it. I could care less, right? Or maybe not care less. Those are not the right words, but it's not that important to me compared to a PL. But I'm going to need to have somebody that's going to help me with PPC, because it's a lot of data. And I'm a data hog, man. That's probably the difference between you and me. I live and thrive looking at data all day. I'm very conservative. In terms of taking risks, I'm conservative. So I try not to take risks unless I have the data to back it up. So I'm a statistician, you could say. Like, I look at data and I make decisions based on that. And without data, I don't jump.
For me, data is super important, but I just think we bring it in at a different point. But you're definitely, like what you said, is you live and breathe it. Every time I need to look at a set of data or Excel opens, I die a little inside. Like I just don't like, I don't enjoy it. I understand the importance, and I do it, and thank God I have a team that's much better at it than me. But if I need to actually go in there and look at something, yeah, I die a little inside. Manipulating all this data. I'm jumping to YouTube and looking at a formula because I'm too stubborn to ask. No, yeah, we're definitely completely different there.
Yeah, I have really, really deep Excel sheets where with like 3 rows of formulas back to back to back to come up with a number on a decision whether buy this product or not buy. So it's like a formula of 3 rows of calculations back and forth to just say buy, not buy. And that's what my VAs touch back and throw back and you go like, okay, this is saying buy.
Oh God, no. Like what you just described, like when that does happen to me, it's just, oh my God. It's I'm like, I'm an entrepreneur through and through for life, but a tiny, tiny part of me when I see all these sheets is like, would it be that bad? Just be a barista in Starbucks for a little while or something like it's just, oh God, I don't like it.
To me, it's fun. It's fun looking at data and manipulating it like that. I mean,
it's right up there with watching paint dry.
Yeah, right. I mean, I have a programming background at school, so I did some of that programming, so I kind of understand it, you know?
Yeah, I think that's super important, like using the skills you have here, and you've definitely done a really good job in your Amazon business so far. So this kind of ties into my next question. Would you call this really your Thor's hammer or your superpower in your business? Like if you had to pick one in your business, what would it be? Like Ramon is the best at, I could definitely fill that in, but you don't want me to, but you go ahead. Like Ramon is the best at what?
I would say, you know, even though that the answer you think I'm going to give is, you know, managing data, I would say it's just I'm relentless. I don't give up. I don't give up. I work my ass off, probably a lot more than PLers. Because in wholesale you have to work a lot, but it's just I don't give up. I'm not going to give up. It's going to continue. The machine must go on, and a lot of people say that they are relentless, but they get distracted with life. Life is very distracting, and in order to be able to be successful to the point where you're comfortable and you live in the life you want to live, you have to be laser focused. And people lack the discipline to do that. I think if I have anything, that would be my superpower.
Relentlessness.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it. To be respectful of your time and start wrapping this up, I can't believe it's already been over 20 minutes, is what's your favorite book? And I like to ask this of all the guests on the show, like what's your favorite book and why?
Yeah, good question. A book that I really like, I would have to say 2 books. Shoe Dog is really good. Shoe Dog, the Nike, the origin story from Nike.
Yeah, I haven't read that
book. You haven't read that one?
No, I'm totally gonna get this afterwards. It's on Audible.
Yeah, it's on Audible. Yeah, I don't consume anything that's not on Audible. Sorry, I don't have time to sit down with a book. But however, I mean, you're driving, you're in the supermarket, you're doing something. I'm always listening to books. Like my radio stations on my radio are not set up. I can't turn on the radio and look for a station. I have no idea what music's out there because I'm always just consuming books. But yeah, Shoe Dog is really, really good. It reads really well and very interesting. And it's about Nike. It's a fantastic business. And another one that I really liked was The Power of Habit. I don't remember the author's name, but The Power of Habit, teaching you to understand the things that drive you and the things that make you relentless. It's a good book. Yeah, I recommend it.
All right. There's got to be a ton of people, especially in the meetup group, once they hear that this podcast is out and that we're on it, or that you're the guest on it. That what's a good way for anybody to get a hold of you that's on their wholesale journey and wants to ask? Before I just drop your phone number out there, but like, what?
Please don't.
What's a good way people can get a hold of you?
Wizards, man. Wizards of Amazon. Just tag me in a group, tag me in a post, and I'll answer as soon as I can. Absolutely. Right. I mean, Yeah, answering wholesale stuff is becomes very easy for me. And I'm not selling the course. I'm not selling anything. I legitimately want to help out people on their journey because I got plenty of help when I was starting out. So
Yeah,
you
definitely.
gotta pay it back now.
So any wholesale questions or any people that are on that same journey of wholesale that are trying to get to private label for whatever their reasons are, they can definitely just tag you in the Wizards of Amazon Facebook group, right?
Yeah, if you're asking me a private label question, I'm not sure I would give you the correct answer. I'll give you my experience, but I'm not sure I'll give you the correct answer. However, with wholesale, I have plenty of experience, so I'll be able to give you insight on that.
That sounds good. Ramon, thank
go
you.
Go to Wizards and post there.
Definitely. Thank you, Ramon. Thank you so much for your time, for being on the show. I can't wait to have you on again. And I all the best in your next private label launch, bro.
Hey man, thanks a lot. See you.
Liked what you heard and want to stay connected? Join our Facebook group or find me anywhere on social media at Wizards of Amazon, or text the word Amazon to 69922.